Welcome to My Worst Date. I'm Cassie.
I'm Keegan.
I'm Christina.
Alrighty. So I saw this on BuzzFeed, and actually I looked it up, and it looks like it's something that happened last year, but they reposted it.
They do that sometimes.
They do that sometimes.
Yeah.
But I did think it was an interesting thing. I think it's still topical and relevant to us.
Okay.
So I'm eager to get your opinions.
Okay.
Because I read this and immediately had an opinion on it, but the opinions are mixed. Like people have like differing.
Okay.
They're split on it, their reactions. So this girl matched with this guy on Tinder.
Great.
And I've never been on Tinder, but they both have to match, right?
Yeah,
like you both
yeah,
have to swipe
you
right
both
in
swipe.
order to match, right?
Yeah.
So they matched. She had a picture on her account where it was her and a friend.
Okay.
So it's her and a friend together, and she's in a purple dress and her friend is in a red dress. And the guy matches with her and then chats her and says, "Don't hate, but I gotta know who's in the red."
Oh.
So matched with her to try and holler about her friend that she posted the picture with.
I mean,
Okay.
that's the danger you get when you post pictures.
Right. I mean,
with-
and that's
and aren't clear.
a lot of people were saying that like, oh, well, this is why you don't post group pictures
Right.
on a dating site. Although I've also heard people who think it's a red flag if you don't post pictures with friends, because it's like, do you have a social life? Do you have friends?
Yeah.
Like I've heard that as
It has
well.
to be like, I feel like I always included it as one of the photos.
Sure.
Right.
I kind of have a feeling, but if there's more information, I will take it.
So she responded and she said she has a wonderful boyfriend, and pro tip, don't do this. And I think it's extremely rude. I think matching with someone to ask about someone else is rude. It wouldn't be rude in person, like not necessarily. Well, no, I still think it would be. I don't think it's rude to go up to someone in person and say, "Can you?"
I want to see the picture.
And say, "Can you introduce me to your friend?" But if you went up to someone in person,
Right.
with the expectation that like you like me, you like me because you've matched with me, right?
Okay, so
And-
here's the issue with that. That is putting too much onto a Tinder match.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I started that way too, where it's like, and perhaps it's like after a few years of doing it, you get like not unemotional about it, but you just are like, oh, it's not.
It is what it is.
It's not that important. You know what I mean? Match just means like, it doesn't mean I like you. And especially like, once you do get to meet them in person and it's like different, I think you just have to like separate your emotions a little bit. So match is just like,
I had
interested.
I had a physical attraction immediately when I saw your picture or whatever. Or
and not
like whatever.
even that too. A lot of times like they will show that like guys will swipe right on everybody. So it really doesn't mean like
anything
at all. So I think that I would be like, I don't know, not like annoyed, but I wouldn't be like, I don't know, put off by it.
I would be put off by it.
I mean, I'd be put. I don't.
I mean, obviously, you're not going to like date that person because you know they're interested,
not interested
in
in
your
me,
friend,
right.
but or whatever.
But I
would
don't
just
know
be
too
like,
that I'd be like,
block.
I wouldn't want to set my friend up with you.
No, I wouldn't want to set my friend up with you, and also my friend, I don't think my friend would want to go out with you.
No,
because I think that that's a really weird way to approach someone.
Yeah,
I just don't like that. And also, this profile isn't her profile, so it is just purely looks based. You saw one photo of her,
That's
and I
right.
was like, I need to know who that is. I just think that that's rude.
It's weird.
I just think it's weird for your self-esteem too, to be like.
I also made the picture bigger because I was like, is there like major differences
No,
between?
they're both
they
beautiful.
Look like sisters.
They're both stunning girls.
They're both.
So this is the girl who had the account, and it went viral. And actually, I should give her a shout out. So her account is Abby Rose 311.
Yeah, she's beautiful.
Yeah, she's gorgeous. And this was a Hinge exchange that she had. And like for me, I don't know, this was very black and white to me, where I was just like, I think that's rude behavior. Even if you see a million girls on Tinder, to match with someone to ask about someone else just feels like bad form.
Yeah, it is bad
form.
rude.
Yeah.
Right.
I just don't know that I would read
people
too
are saying
heavily
that's
into
not rude.
Yeah, they're like, well, he shot his shot, and like this is what you get for posting pictures with other people on your page and stuff like that.
I feel a way about like, yes, if it was confusing, but if it sounds to me like it's one picture in amongst maybe multiple
Right,
pictures,
and- yes.
if it was only the only picture, I'd be like, well then, yeah, maybe
Oh,
like,
that's true.
yeah,
Like if it was the
yeah.
only picture she had on there, but it was one of
Yeah.
several pictures.
Right.
I just think like that is. I wouldn't do
it's
it.
ar-
I
it's
wouldn't do
already
it. If-
definitely like enough of an emotional thing or whatever to be on the apps as a woman or as anybody. Honestly,
I would never.
that it
if
is
there was a
rude.
guy on a dating app and he posted a picture with a friend, I would never match with him just so I could
Just so
say,
you could
"Who's your
say.
friend?" I'd like to fuck your friend. Like that's. I think that's so fucking rude.
I think guys would take it much differently. I think guys would be
Ugh.
like, all right, his name's Jack. We'll give him a call.
Let me ask him.
Ugh.
I think he'd be into it, man.
I don't know. I don't like that. And there were a
No.
lot of comments of, people who were like, well, when you already feel like you're the ugly friend in the friend
Oh,
group and then this
wow.
is happening to you,
Oh.
that's why I stopped posting pictures with my friends on dating apps and things like that. So
But that's the thing too. That's why again
They're both beautiful.
They both are beautiful,
Yeah.
and they, like I said, they look like they could be sisters. They look so.
they're both blonde
both
and
blonde.
young.
They're both the almost identical looking as far as like.
Yeah, I'd be interested to know. 'Cause
What's the
I'm
difference?
surprised. To
Yeah.
me, this was so
You like her dress better?
black
Like,
and white
what?
to me. So, I mean, clearly it isn't. So I'd be very interested for our listeners to let me know what you think about it because I would fucking hate that.
Yeah,
I really
don't-
wouldn't like
I don't
it.
think I'd like it, but I wouldn't take it personal, and I probably wouldn't respond. I'd just be like block.
Yeah, I
just-
wouldn't.
I
I
wouldn't respond either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think just dating apps are listen, I'm forever grateful. I got to meet
Yeah.
Eric off of a dating app. So, I feel like a Cinderella story. You know what I mean? But it is very strange, and people use them in different ways for different reasons, and they're an interesting thing to navigate. And once you learn, I think what it is you want out of them, I think they can be a useful tool, but you really do like have to build some walls up
Yeah.
because sometimes people are using them in very creepy, weird, ugly ways,
Yeah.
and you can get your feelings really, really fucking hurt because sometimes people are awful.
Fucking
And
nasty. Yeah.
You just get to meet more of them through your phone. So
Ugh.
yeah,
Sounds
it's
wonderful.
Yeah, it can be. There can be fun, but yeah, I would rate it a D. in general. Just a general D. A feeling of D.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, actually, there was an article released in The Independent this past week titled "From Dating for the Plot to Entering Delulu Era."
Oh man.
Okay.
Tinder's top online dating trends of 2023. So they just released their year in swipe, revealing the most popular dating trends for this year.
So it's like they're Spotify Wrapped.
Correct. It's Tinder's Wrapped. So based on the data collected, singles looking for love or just a good time took the reins this year, deciding that main character energy was what they needed to bring to have a successful dating life.
Okay.
So they noted that people were 5.5 times more likely to use statements in their biographies, such as "Everything I do is for the plot."
Oh my
God.
Okay. That's kind of funny.
Amazing. And also, instead of looking for the one, users were also focused on finding others who were NATO,
What's that mean?
not attached to an outcome.
Oh.
Huh.
So, in light of
Interesting.
this new carefree energy, Tinder users also harnessed the power of Delulu as the Sululu.
All right. I need.
Delulu was used 58 times more in biographies
Wow.
this year. So, yeah.
It sounds terrible out there.
It's,
I'm not gonna lie. Like this sounds awful.
Yeah. There's a major shift in how Tinder was being used this year. They found that journey is more important than the outcome for users. 69% of Gen Z users were found to be challenging conventional dating and relationship norms,
Okay.
freeing themselves from traditional expectations.
I like that.
The data also revealed that a good bio was just as important in the dating game as the best selfie. That's actually good
Right.
news.
Yes, I
Yeah.
agree. I think that's great news.
Yeah, that it's like a little taste of
We
that
care
person's
about the
personality.
substance a little bit. Yeah.
The top emoji used was on, common amongst young singles to let their potential matches know they are up for an adventure. So it's like an arrow going both ways, and it says on with an exclamation point underneath it. So use that to let your matches know you're up for an adventure. And other emojis also popularly used to symbolize certain personality traits, such as, I can't tell what that is. I'm old blind woman.
Let me see. Okay.
Yeah.
Symbolize. It looks like a necklace of some kind to show. They're like meditation beads.
It's the meditation beads.
Yeah,
Okay.
to show someone is zen or down to earth.
Okay.
Or a band-aid to let fellow swipers know they are on a healing journey.
Oh, okay.
I
Okay.
love that.
Listen.
Possibly recovering from a crazy breakup, and we're re-entering the dating scene.
Okay.
Listen, I'm
like
used to deciphering my mom's emojis. My mom sends emojis now, and I'm like, what is the dancing salsa woman doing next to the picture of like cookies? I
I'm
don't
just
understand
like,
what
I don't
this
know.
means.
Can't we just fucking talk to each other? I mean, we use emojis, whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't know that we need all of this like shorthand. Like, why don't we get to know each other and then I'll tell you about my journey?
The number one hottest trend on the app, Akatu, was deemed as the most attractive interest. Akatu is Japanese for obsessive fans for anime or manga.
Okay.
So that's the number one thing. Other attractive interests were cheerleading, Pilates, and being an LGBTQ plus ally, along with a surprising entry at number 4 with biryani, which I believe is Indian food.
Oh, that's
think.
specific.
Yeah. But yeah, year in swipe, you can also, I remember one year, I think my last year on it was when they did it. They show you how many matches you got, how many of those matches led to chats, how many of those chats led to dates.
That's interesting.
And stuff like that. So you can get stats for all you data nerds
Interesting.
out there.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel very old
Yeah.
having this conversation. I just feel old. Like I've never used the apps to date. So
I kind of like the emoji idea. I think that it does. I mean, especially if there's kind of like this common understanding, like there's certain emojis that mean certain things, like I'm on a healing journey. It kind of takes some of the pressure off of having maybe like a instant difficult conversation, and it allows people to kind of know where your headspace is.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, just kind of like like I'm here right now. This is where I'm at.
Right.
You know, without having it's kind of their way of like saying what we always say is put it on your profile, put it in your profile, you know, and some people don't want to be like, I just went through like this really bad breakup and I'm blah, 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 you know, like you don't, I mean,
Do you think
Just
you
put a
would
Band-Aid.
ask about it though?
you could.
Like, because if
I
you
think-
see it
yes.
I mean, I would
maybe a good
probably
conversation
want
starter.
to ask about it. Like because I'd want to check in with you about where you are, which I guess that
that's the
could
most
be
Pisces thing I've ever heard.
that
you
could
say.
be but that could be useful, I suppose. Like
Right.
where like it could be a place where like, okay, I know that you've gone through something, but that could mean anything.
Sure.
You know, and
or
I think
I'm in a healing journey as well. Where are you at? What are some tools that you've used or whatever?
yeah.
I don't know.
am living for the everything I do is for the plot.
I love that.
That's yes.
Yes,
True.
I like the
I want to be that confident.
Well, and it's
every
also
day.
just like, look, there's going to be some red flags. I'm going to tell you right fucking now. It's just, you're putting it on the table that like this shit's going to get weird. I don't know how to.
This is where we're at right
I'm
now.
willing to make irresponsible decisions,
exactly. Exactly. Oh my gosh.
No,
which could be appealing.
I love it. I mean, it's like I said, it's a tool just like any that once you learn how to use it safely or whatever, can be fun, can lead to finding interesting people that I like the idea that Gen Z is using it and not being attached to outcomes. I love
that.
I think that the biggest thing that dating apps hurt in yourself sometimes are your own expectations,
That's right.
your own
I think dating in general,
Right.
that's how it is. If you're
Yeah.
too attached to the outcome,
Right.
then now the Delulu thing I need more information about because
Delulu for the Salulu.
I
think
don't understand.
They're talking mostly about like the tube girl. Do you know the tube girl trends? Like she was in the tube and like everyone's around her. She's doing that crazy. So it's basically that energy. Be like, I'm just going to have fun.
Right.
I don't care what people think about me.
Yeah.
I'm Delulu.
Okay.
And I'm living my life.
Sure,
kind of
great.
energy, which I kind of
love that.
I love that too.
Yeah.
Delulu for the Salulu.
It's funny because somebody mentioned, we were talking about the thing that we talked about not that long ago about like Gen Z looking for like movies with less to do with like the ooh, will they, won't they, or the or whatever, like that kind of romantic end game plot. I mean, you see that in the dating, you see that in, you know, a lot of things. And I think that but and then that person was like, well, they're not having as much sex. I'm like, I don't know that that's exactly
think that's a
true.
bad. Well, and I also don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing.
Sure.
Right.
Like I think that things change. I don't think sex is the number one indicator for connection necessarily.
No.
You know, and I don't think it's bad for them to be less sex focused.
Well, I also look at what happened to like our generation with
she's
millennials.
over
It's
sex.
like, no, it's also like we're kind of the tail end of like you have to like find your person and get married and buy a house and have this many kids and you have to go to college and like all that stuff. And we got priced the fuck out.
Oh,
you
right.
know?
Totally.
And
Yeah.
I think that Gen Z sees like, no way am I ever going to own a house. No way am I ever going to, you know what I mean? So what's the point of doing it the traditional way if you're just going to get fucked,
Yeah.
you know?
Truly.
So
Yeah.
I do like the fact that they're just, again, not attached to any outcomes and just looking for these experiences that enrich their lives. I think it's a great attitude to have.
Yeah.
I think our expectations are the things that hurt us the most.
I think that the only thing that I would say about, because I agree with you, but I do think there is this culture, the swiping culture is, I'm interested to see in 10 years the outcome of swiping culture, TikTok culture, really short attention span culture, because I wonder if it's going to affect long-term connection with people because you get bored and you're like, there's a million other people on the apps, so it doesn't matter. Like we've seen like an uptick in ghosting, an uptick in and stuff like that, because you know you can kind of just I just hope it doesn't lead to this feeling that people are disposable, that we can't have these like long-term connections. Because I'm with you. I think being attached to a specific outcome never really ends super well. You can't go into something thinking it's going to go
This
a
is where
certain
it's
way
gonna be.
because you're going to disappoint yourself. However, I don't know. I just don't know.
Well,
you know, I mean, I think it can go kind of both ways. I think there's balance needed.
Yeah.
But it also depends on what stage of life you're in. Like I'm in my 30s.
Right.
If you're in your 20s, I think that's a different conversation.
Well, and also I think every new technology has like a learning curve
Sure, yeah.
and stuff.
Sure.
So different generations like down the line, like Tinder's kind of old now.
Yeah.
You know, what is it? 15, 20 years old?
Yeah.
Something like that.
That's insane.
So
yeah,
I know.
probably less than 20.
Yeah.
But
But still old.
Maybe
So
15.
enough that
Yeah.
like, you know, another generation is using it, a new generation. And you see like, you know, watching my 3-year-old niece like work a computer.
Right.
You know, is amazing. So seeing what Gen Z does with that technology is interesting to me.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And then the ones that come after them, you know, you mold and adapt the technology to make it work better for you.
Yeah.
Or nefariously, you know, there's a lot of AI out there now. I hate talking about this, but the danger is that there's undressing apps that you can plug in a photo of somebody fully dressed and AI will give you their naked.
But that's
how could they
photo.
possibly know? And
it's such a speculative.
I mean, it is speculative, but then
But
they're
it's
making
so
deep
weird.
fake porns
Yeah.
pretty much.
right. And
is a
that's
big thing.
kind of the thing. That's what I mean. So like when you're like inundated with all of this, you have access to so much. Is that going to I mean, it is going to change it, but whether or not it changes for like positively, negatively, whatever, I don't dare speculate on entirely. But like that in-person connection
Right.
of like being vulnerable and letting someone see your naked body for the first time.
Yeah.
Or like all of those things. Is it going to change? Like having an app like that, is it going to change like that feeling of like actual person to person contact and connection?
Well, I think that we're already seeing that. And that's the point is like, you know, you're already seeing that Gen Z doesn't care necessarily about their, you know, about the romantic this and that. They're like, we have access to all of those things, which, you know, again, when we were growing up, fucking TV movies were horny as hell.
Yes.
Horny.
Everything was horny. Everything was horny.
Shit that didn't need to be horny was
the
horny.
80s were the worst. Anytime I watch an 80s movie, I'm like,
70s
Jesus Christ.
Why are high
Horniest.
school movies taking place
so naked?
so naked?
Yeah,
I'm
it's
like,
not right.
Wait,
It's
What?
not okay. And
So
when you know
naked.
that like everyone behind the scenes was like a middle-aged man, you're
Yes.
like, what?
Ugh.
That like I always go back to that shower scene in Carrie.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, everyone involved in the making of this was an older man.
Yeah.
Why are we in a high school gym where it's just like naked women in a
ladies.
shower?
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
so weird. Yeah.
Yeah, it is weird.
But I
And-
think that's influenced, like,
Absolutely.
well, we didn't have access to like, we didn't have access to like
Porn
Pornhub
in that
and
way.
things like
Yeah.
that. We were lucky to get like, somebody's old like
Playboy.
or
Yeah.
Playgirl or what Playgirl gross. Just or Penthouse
we were
or
lucky
whatever.
to get Playgirl.
Were we?
Gross.
But like or Penthouse Forum, like that was
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
spicy,
Yeah, sure.
and it was all like very like ooh secretive. Whereas now it's not that it's not horny. It's just that it's
different.
We've come to a place where it's like so accessible, and it's not necessary to
Right.
be that horny.
And I'm not
day
saying
to day.
it's bad because you
No,
don't know.
neither.
Like every
Yeah.
generation changes and everyone is always up in arms and concerned about things that new generations are going through. And so we don't know like what the effects of anything will be in 10 years. And maybe it doesn't even matter. It's just something that I noticed and I'm like, oh, keep an eye on that. Because
Yeah.
I do feel like I've heard Gen Z people talk about this, that like making friends is difficult. We're friends in real life. Like all of these things change because of access to the internet. There's good and there's bad to everything.
That just reminds me of the story I did a couple weeks ago where the guy was like, I was just here to make friends.
Yeah.
All these guys think I'm gay. Sir, yes.
No, I mean, going further down the line, what affects like 3 years indoors for the pandemic to be
Absolutely.
for this
Yeah.
younger generation and their socialization is
Yeah.
interesting to me. But yeah, like I said, I'm a fan of dating apps if used responsibly and in the right way.
Respectfully.
And
Use-
respectfully, because that's really what it is. It's just
Yeah.
like, and maybe you're right with the emojis. Like any attempt at communicating is probably a good thing. Any
Sure.
attempt at like revealing something true about yourself is probably a good thing. I'm gonna stand by it. I think swiping right on someone to hit on someone else is fucking bad form.
Yeah.
I think that there should be rules
Like
of
a
etiquette.
Miss Manners.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do. I really do. And I'm like, you guys
Emily Post.
need to read an Emily Post about how to treat people
Yes.
Yeah.
online, period.
Well,
Yes.
I
But
think
also dating apps.
Everywhere.
Yes.
everywhere. In Chipotle's, everywhere.
Yeah. Well,
Wow.
who do we FMK this week?
God, I don't even fucking know.
No.
What is this? Where is this falling?
This is on the 20th of December.
Gosh, right before
right before
Christmas.
Christmas.
Right before.
Well, it is winter season.
Yes.
And even though it is still like 70 degrees in Los Angeles, people are starting to get like warm and snuggly vibes.
Yes.
So what if we fuck, marry, kill bearded dudes? I feel like that we haven't had that
Like Santa.
in a while. It's Santa. And also I feel like men grow beards in the winter.
Yeah.
Don't they?
Yeah.
Like
They
to
do.
keep themselves warm?
Yes. Well, there's the no
Shave November.
or is that it? What it is? No. No shave November.
All I can
And-
remember about
No
it.
Nut November.
nuts.
Okay, got it.
Which you can't do because you love cashews.
I love cashews.
But
I mean,
yes.
technically they're a legume, right? I don't know. The way that your faces were like, no.
Oh my God. One of my favorite moments.
I did on my research find an article that was like celebrities who look better with beards than without.
Oh, okay.
Right, so we can narrow it down because
Yeah.
facial hair is something that comes and goes
Yeah.
for guys.
Right.
Like so, there aren't a ton of celebrities that are always bearded, but there
Right.
are celebrities who look better.
Yes.
The ones that stuck out to me were Ben Affleck.
Definitely,
I was like, oh,
Yeah, he does.
definitely,
definitely.
Yeah.
Steve Carell.
Yes,
He's so hot with
he's
a beard.
a different person with
yes,
a beard.
he
Yeah.
is.
That with a beard.
He's giving daddy energy.
Yes.
With that
with
beard.
a beard, he's going
And
to
I'm
spank your ass. Without a beard, he's going to wipe your ass.
Oh,
No.
that. I don't like
hate
that.
It. Hate it.
Jon Hamm.
Yeah. I mean, and he's handsome either
Handsome
way.
Yeah,
either way.
he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, not going to kick him out of bed without,
No.
you know, oh, you don't have a beard.
But the beard is a different energy.
It is giving daddy again.
You get a new. Eric will sometimes grow a beard. He wants to so badly.
Bless his heart.
Bless his heart. And yeah, it is. It's like, oh, there's my new husband, bearded Eric. You
Yeah.
know? It's a different vibe.
It's a spicier vibe.
Have been watching Luther because I'm trying. That's why I have BritBox.
He's
because
on here.
yes, Idris Elba hotter with a beard.
Hotter.
100%.
And
Yeah.
hot anyways. Like
Hot
I think that
anyways.
he's like a hot man.
Just like Jon Hamm.
Right. But like with a beard, that is daddy energy. That is,
Yeah.
I'm going to choke you maybe.
Okay.
Yes.
Especially with that accent.
In a good way. And his voice is so like
Oh.
deep and gruff and like
Yeah.
sexy like that. Woo. Okay.
Yeah.
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 Into it.
I'm going to say, I think, since we're going for the ones that look better with a beard.
Better, yeah.
Because I was thinking like Chris Hemsworth. Sure.
Yes.
He kind of like always has a beard.
feels-
and stuff,
Yeah, I
and
think
it
he
just
does.
feels.
Classic beard.
But I'm going to go with Henry Cavill.
okay.
Okay.
I think he's attractive. He's fine or whatever, but then put a
Oh.
beard on him.
He's too Clark Kent without a beard. Like
Yeah,
he's
it's
too
true.
I think Jon Hamm, same problem. It's
almost
like
like-
you're too 1950s clean cut, handsome, all American handsome.
But you put a beard on
Put
him,
a beard on you.
dirty him up a little bit.
Yes.
Like his Witcher character or whatever. Oh,
It's a little too much.
Wait, but Witcher doesn't have a beard, does he?
Yeah.
oh
that's-
wait, yeah,
He's
it
just
just
blonde.
has the thing.
When he was
thinking of
in
the
Mission
dirt.
Impossible.
Oh yeah,
Whoa.
with that beard.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna go with Idris. You're gonna go with Henry Cavill.
Okay. I'm torn. I think because I do dig the Jon Hamm of it, right?
The Jon Hamm of it all.
The Jon Hamm of it all. But again, like you have
Momoa's another one we didn't talk about.
oh god.
Momoa looks like a different person
Yeah,
without a beard.
He's still hot. I
No.
think he's hot without a
I
beard.
do not think he's hot.
I do.
I think he's
But
absolutely
He's a
not
lot
hot.
hotter. He's a lot hotter with.
It's a different realm. It's like a different he is not good looking without a beard.
I disagree.
Ugh, it's a no for me.
Oh wow, I disagree.
also
I think he's hot.
I think Ryan Gosling is hotter with a beard.
Absolutely.
Hotter.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, like, and I think, again, we're talking about somebody who's, you know, generally a good looking guy regardless. But yeah,
Who you gonna go with?
Yeah.
Jon Hamm.
Okay.
I'm doing Jon Hamm.
Wow. I do not have the self-esteem for this list right now.
Right. Listen, Lord.
Good luck.
Oh my goodness.
I actually.
Well, you have to go through
no.
with it. We
I
all know those are the rules.
You do. You have to. We're gonna call him up. We're gonna call him up. Let him know. I know what I'm gonna do. I'm going to marry Jon Hamm.
Yep.
Jon Hamm has a humor about himself
Yes.
that I appreciate.
Love it.
Love it. I'm gonna fuck Idris Elba.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine it being bad. Like he's like one of those people who I'm like, it would be very surprising if he's bad at sex. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
It'd be
don't get
very
bad.
surprising.
I don't get bad at sex energy. from him.
No.
Also that voice, that accent, hot, check, into it. Henry Cavill's
Is
never
he going to
been.
be too good at sex?
Can you be? What do you mean?
I would love to know. Listeners, write in.
yeah. Like,
Is that ever an
In
issue?
what way do you mean?
I mean, like, am I going to be embarrassed about? Can I keep up with that?
Ooh.
I need to know their signs. I have to know this is the only way I'm going to get through this.
This is a wonderful trifecta
I love
for
this.
myself.
I think Idris Elba's gonna throw you around.
Oh,
like
yeah.
I don't think you're gonna have to do a ton.
Yeah,
Idris Elba
I'm going to
is
be
a
done too soon.
Virgo.
Okay, love it.
Henry Cavill is a Taurus.
Okay.
John Hamm is a Pisces.
Oh Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Oh, that changes things, doesn't it? No, it doesn't. Whatever. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do.
Dude, our sign. Oh my God. No, wait. Our sign would be Taurus. So you're
And so
Taurus
is Virgo.
and Virgo.
Yeah.
They're both
Yeah.
our signs.
Yeah.
And we all know I love a Virgo.
yeah.
I love a Virgo.
And that's Idris.
All
That's a
right,
man
all
with a
right.
plan.
Stop. Wind it back. I'm gonna marry Idris.
Yeah.
Marry him.
Yeah.
He's gonna keep me on that straight and narrow. He does have like real Virgo energy.
Yeah.
Because him
Yes.
and Keanu Reeves both Virgos. There's an energy there.
There's a
that
little danger.
I love it.
But grounded.
you're gonna be good at the things that I'm not good at. That kitchen is clean.
Ooh.
You know, like Idris Elba has like a clean kitchen vibe.
Yes.
You know what though? I don't mean to throw a damp cloth over this fantasy. He's a DJ. Let's be so fucking for real right now.
But he's also
Oh no!
that's right.
That does color everything.
It does, doesn't it? Ooh.
Oh no!
You're gonna have to go to the club to support your man for his DJ set.
Christina,
Maybe carry some of his
good
vinyls.
Keegan loves to dance.
I do love to dance. I love to dance. Is he a good DJ?
I actually do not know.
If he's a good DJ, then I'm like, maybe. What's his DJ name?
Ooh.
Is it that will determine?
That will?
Because
Okay, this is make or break.
If it's just DJ Idris Elba,
then I'm good with it.
We're fine.
I'm willing to hold on.
But if it's like DJ such and such,
Yeah, if it sounds like a morning like talk show host, I'm not into it. Like.
Oh my gosh, what is his
DJ Sky Falcon?
Oh my god, DJ Big Driss.
No.
You'd be Mrs. Big Driss.
Baby Driss.
Oh no.
Lil Driss.
Here's the thing. I'm trying to find ways to still justify this to myself.
Ooh,
because
honey.
like his energy, I like it so much, and I have never been a Henry Cavill girly.
You don't
Right.
have to be.
Like I'm not a Henry Cavill girly. Never have been. Like I think he's very good looking. I think he's objectively
Listen,
very good looking.
Why did we suddenly go off Big Driss? Listen,
I hate it.
No one's
I will
judging
say
you.
something. I will say something. These men are all so fucking attractive.
Yeah.
But this also, I'm like, all right, this humanized Idris
Yeah.
Elba
Yes,
a little bit for me.
Right. Yeah.
I'm like, don't come in here giving me that.
Listen,
Big
Driss.
You're gonna whip that out with every fight you have.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay, Big Driss. Cool.
Well, I'm gonna go back. Where I can't. I'm gonna marry Jon Hamm. I do. It's risky.
It is spicy.
Pisces. I said I would never do it again. It's risky, but he does seem fun. Like he's got like a humor that I like. I will fuck Big Dress. I'm willing to I'm willing to go to the club.
Yep.
I'm willing to like dance my ass off, and I'm willing to take Big Dress home. Okay.
All right.
So yeah.
Hot and sweaty.
I love it.
That's how we like him. I'm so torn. I was gonna marry Jon Hamm off the cuff.
Yeah.
Just without thoughts. And I think that's how I get myself into the situations I get myself into. However, what I'll say, my theory for my life has always been just do it.
Delulu.
Just
For the
Everything
Delulu.
for the everything for the plot.
Yeah.
That's always been my motto since I was little, is just to do the thing and then like just take the adventure.
Say
right?
yes, ask questions.
Yeah,
later.
exactly. And I've enjoyed my adventure, and that's always kind of like why like I don't want my fortune told, or I don't like any of that stuff. I just like seeing what happens, like watching it unfold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
However, I've seen a Pisces unfold. And I just have reservations.
I mean, so do I, but just take the leap with me, Cassie.
Okay. All right. You know what? You're right. Jon Hamm, I'm marrying him.
Okay.
I'm making an outrageous decision.
Yeah.
But honestly, a Taurus on my other side, I can't do that. I can't. That's an absolute no for me.
And Big Dress is off the table.
Virgos, I like.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
But I know that I have sexual energy with Pisces.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Jon Hamm is just too...
So you're gonna marry Jon Hamm,
Yes, bearded Jon Hamm.
bearded
Yes.
Jon Hamm.
All bearded versions.
Yes,
Yes,
obviously.
yes.
And then I think I'm gonna fuck Big Dress too.
Yeah. I look.
All right. I might be getting controversial.
Okay.
Ooh,
This
mix
might
it
be
up.
a bad decision to wrap up 23. But I actually think
that you don't have any bad decisions here.
I don't really.
This falls all in your wheelhouse.
I actually really am interested in what like a Cap Taurus relationship would be like, because I would love to date somebody I think as stubborn as myself.
Why? Why would you love that?
I don't know. I just never have. It's very intriguing to me.
I mean, I think that you would have, there's a lot of homebody stuff that you would probably enjoy.
Yes.
Right.
There's
Yeah.
coziness going on with a Taurus. They're cozy people.
Yeah.
You're not going to like being wrong all the time.
With a Taurus? Oh, I think the fights are going to be explosive.
Epic.
Oh.
Epic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I have to be safe. I have to marry Jon Hamm too. I've got good sexual
great.
energy with Pisces. He's a good, calm, funny, down to earth.
I love his sense of humor about himself.
Yes, me too.
I feel like Big Driss is not okay. I don't think he's okay making fun of himself. I feel like that would be the thing that would be very difficult.
Yeah, I mean, if he's very earnest about Big Driss, we're gonna have some.
Yeah, that's gonna be.
If you're not, because at first I'm like, oh, I mean, he could be taking the piss out, you know. I don't know, like, and if that's the case, then that's much more attractive.
Absolutely.
But if you're just like,
I'm Big Driss,
yeah,
then
full chest out.
yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. I'm gonna marry Jon Hamm, and then I'm gonna see what that
Let me
bull
know.
goat energy
Yeah.
is like
In bed?
Wow. Yeah.
I like that. Let me know.
Fight to the finish.
Both of you are going to be trying to take charge the whole time.
Absolutely.
Fight to the finish. I love it.
Fight
Yeah.
to the finish.
Yeah.
So yeah. That was a good one. I think we need to revisit bearded men. I think there were some good options we left on the table.
Okay.
So yeah, maybe next week part 2.
Okay.
All right.
I like this. Hey, if you guys got good options, you want if you have somebody that you want in the game, you just let us know.
Yeah.
Message us.
Yeah.
Reach out.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, let's take 5 and then we'll come back with stories.
And we're back. What?
Sorry.
Why?
I started because I heard what Christina was humming, and it's a dead ass from like a.
We did in the break just now watch some of Big Driss's set that he did for Radar Online, and look,
Keegan loves it.
I have to
number one
say,
fan.
She doesn't want to ruin her chances here with Big Driss.
I do not. If this makes it into Idris's in giant hands, just know.
Hey, yeah.
Listen.
Truth.
That I
Those
love,
arms?
I love. If you like it, I love it. You look like you were having the best
Listen.
time DJing your little heart out. Okay.
Will I come support Keegan and her new relationship?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I will
of
come to the
course.
club with her.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
And also, like we were talking about, Keegan, like someone with a hobby.
man with a
It's
hobby.
hot.
Listen.
It's hot.
Yeah, he doesn't
It's
have
hot.
to be DJ Big Dress. He chooses that.
That's
Yeah.
exactly.
He looks like he's having fun.
He
There you
does.
go.
And so I
I love that for
I
him.
approve.
It brings him joy.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's not like
nice.
he's doing this and doesn't have a job.
Yeah.
Also true.
True.
That makes a huge
that
difference.
makes a huge difference.
It's not like he's just SoundClouding his life away.
It's like Keanu Reeves being in that band.
Yes.
You're just
Yeah.
like, I love that for you.
Good for
like,
you.
know,
Have
like,
a hobby.
That's
you know?
wonderful.
It's not like
Yeah.
Jared Leto being in a band, though.
No.
No.
Fuck Jared Leto.
Takes
Anyway,
himself too seriously. Okay. Anyway, this is a very short story, but I feel like it needs to be told. And this is not his story. He's talking about a girlfriend of his. So he says,
so he says. This happened to a friend of mine.
in conversations with girlfriends and female friends, it has always astonished me at the psychopathic behavior shown by men to almost every woman I've ever met. To be clear, not all men are psychopaths, but it seems all women have met one and can tell an absolutely hair-raising story about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all we need from you.
That's just it.
Just to acknowledge that, listen, enough of them.
If it's
are
not you, we're
weirdos.
not talking about you.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Don't worry about it.
If it doesn't apply, let it fly. On to the worst story I've ever heard. An ex-girlfriend told me this story. She meets a guy and they hit it off. They start dating. After dating for a while, she invites the guy to her house with the intention of sleeping with him. When they get to her place, she offers him a glass of wine and asks him to wait in the living room while she goes to freshen up. We've all been there. You want to
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to make sure things are.
everything is tidy.
Yep.
Tidied up, cleaned, washed. Okay.
Fresh.
Yes. 10 to 15 minutes later, she returns to the living room to find an almost empty wine glass, a note, and the guy nowhere to be seen. The note reads, "Sorry, I couldn't wait for you, so I took matters into my own hands. The glass contains his ejaculate."
Stop. You came in a glass.
Because he couldn't wait for her to get clean. 10 to 15 minutes, mind you.
This is somebody, listen,
You dodged a bullet.
Yes.
When we're doing that, like, I'm literally, like,
I'm being-
I've been running around all day and everything.
My
and I would like
downstairs is sweaty.
Exactly.
Also,
That's for your
it's not
benefit.
really that big of a deal. 10, 15 minutes?
No, not long at all. You couldn't wait 10 to 15 minutes to have
grip.
to actually be with a real human woman who was in front of you.
Get a grip. Well,
Yeah.
I guess he did. Never mind.
Well, he sure did. Yeah. There are no words for what was wrong with that guy. She was extremely lucky he left. And I'm
Holy
like, absolutely. He came in her wine glass and left.
Dude, do you know, too, how expensive, like, a good wine glass set is?
Yes.
And now I have 3 because you can't use that one
I will
ever again.
ever.
You throw it
It's
out.
all in the trash.
That is so fucking
Everything.
weird.
I put
too.
it in one of those bags I got at the grocery store.
Biohazard.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then doubled it again and
Yep.
then threw it into the dumpster.
That is so weird, isn't it? Like, what is up with that? You couldn't hold
Disgusting.
on.
Oh, I hate it.
Disgusting. That's
I've
the
never
fucking
heard
worst thing I've ever
anything
Ugh.
like that in my
And
life.
so he's getting frustrated, like waiting for her or whatever. And so the thing that pops into his mind to do is to take out his dick, jerk off, and come into a wine glass. That is
so gross.
How is your brain wired that
He's like,
way?
solutions.
And leaving her to clean up his cum.
Ugh.
Imagine pouring that down the sink.
No.
Sorry.
Oh my God.
Sorry, brain bleach.
That is big dress.
Oh! Don't you talk
Ew.
about him like that.
Don't you dare. You take my husband's name out of your mouth.
Take out of your motherfucking mouth.
Okay. Whew. That took a turn. Anyway, I was traveling, and as a way to meet people and some cute local men, I was on Tinder and couch surfing. I saw this one guy who was on both apps, matched with him on Tinder, and we quickly set up a date. I met him at an Italian place. He looked like his photos: beard, slicked back hair, jeans, nice dress shoes, and a suit jacket. I thought it was a bit too much, but whatever. We get to talking, and he started to say some pretty weird things, like that his therapist didn't know if he was a psychopath or a sociopath.
I don't like that.
No,
That's not first date talk.
Check, please.
Yeah.
She can't decide. Your therapist can't decide.
I'm not going to help.
I don't want to get to the bottom of that.
No.
I don't need to.
sounds like you got some more therapy to do.
Right.
sir. Also, he didn't have a conscience, and he sold weapons overseas as his job. Yeah, so maybe red flags.
Yeah.
Maybe. What do you
A
mean?
psychopathic arms. Yeah. Is she dating Hans Gruber?
Right. Yes.
Fuck. He was insecure and maybe trying to come off as a Christian Grey sort of character. I met him when they
Is that
started.
what Christian Grey's job is?
No.
I don't think they ever really elaborate. That's
He
not
owns his own
important.
company.
They're like
He owns his own
business.
He does business,
He,
man.
he owns his own business, doing
Yes.
business.
Yeah, business things.
businesses.
Shareholders.
Lots of
Meetings.
like the guy, the shareholder meetings are killing me. Sir, you are the janitor. Still funny.
Oh, Jesus.
I met him when they started making the movie, so he might have found some inspiration from the books.
I am disturbed because this is like our third story where a man was inspired by Christian Grey. And I am very disturbed by the number of men who saw that and were like, I'm taking a note. I'm putting a pin in that for
Yeah.
later. Like,
Write it down. Use for later. Anyway, at the end of the night, we walk out of the place. That's when I made the huge mistake. I said I was going to walk back to my hostel, and he said, "No, we're this way," pointing to his car. I got in the car with him like a
Sweetie.
stupid sheep, thinking that he would drive me home.
Honey.
Nope. We are now driving past my hostel. I ask him to drop me off. He says no, because he wants to show me his place just in case I want to couch surf with him.
I don't.
I told him I didn't want to go home with people I have just met on a first date, but he insisted that I see his place. So here we are driving up to his apartment complex. My plan, jump out, make a dash for it when he parks.
Yeah.
But this asshole has his own special mini garage. We pull in and I watch my only exit, the garage door, slowly closing in front of my eyes.
Okay, you see, this is exactly what home dude from my last story was talking about. This behavior,
Yes.
like the fact that you've never spoken to a human woman for longer than like 5 minutes. If you don't know why a woman would find that really scary.
That's frightening. Oh my God. I would be having a full-on panic attack.
Yeah.
Slowly closing in front of me, the garage door. I think to ease my nervousness, he told me it would be stupid of him to kill me because there was too much evidence.
That's
Tender.
not helping me.
Oh God,
like,
I just got chills. Oh my God.
Not helping.
no.
I sent my friend a ping of my location from his place and then went up to his apartment. Turns out he had the sweetest Indian roommate. I couldn't help but feel sorry for the guy having to live with this fucking idiot. I was there for an hour until it was finally time for me to leave. So my crazy date walks me out, and on the way down to the elevator, he says to me, and I kid you not, I don't usually let women leave this easily.
Oh.
So yay, I wasn't murdered or worse, and now I have a crazy story to tell.
Oh my goodness.
Why do you think that's sexy?
Oh my
Like
God.
that's
It's
not.
terrifying.
It's very scary.
People, they really should listen to their moms when they tell you not to get in cars with strangers. Be safe, ladies.
Jesus.
Yep. Oh my goodness. Well, you got lucky. I don't usually let women leave this easily.
Why would you think that that's like
That's
an
not
okay
hot.
thing to say? Or like, and you know, he probably said it thinking it was sexy.
Oh yeah, he's like,
Yeah.
he thinks that he is for sure.
Well,
Like
it
Christian Grey.
shows
Yeah.
a lack of empathy. What's really creepy though is that the couple of things he said showed awareness, at least that the situation could be frightening for a woman.
Yeah.
But then
Did
didn't
it
care.
anyway.
Didn't care.
Yeah.
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 Oof. Yeah. I'll help your therapist out. Psychopath. Okay. I forgot all about this one until I started reading the horror stories. Girl picks me up right away. Notice that she has a nervous habit of interjecting meow into sentences.
I feel like we've told the story. It sounds like
Okay.
Also uses it in different tones to convey laughter and confusion.
okay. So this isn't like a.
It's not like a right meow.
No, it's not
like
like-
it's not like a.
and it's not like Tourette's where it's just meow. Like
no.
she's
She's
using
communicating
it with meows.
meows.
Yes.
Okay, but not as a substitution for other words.
No, she's just peppering the conversation
I don't like this.
like an emoji,
I
a meow meoji.
what?
I hate you. Go to dinner. Nothing spectacularly bad happens. Afterwards, she wants to go to some hill and some park and
I
look
think it's
over the
Meow
city.
Hill and Meow Park.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's
Meow. Cop shows up,
Meow.
lights, and whoop, start being real dickheads about the park being closed. There was no signs at the gate. They pull us out of the car,
Jesus.
begin
Oh, no.
tearing through it because if we weren't up there fucking, well, then we had to be doing dope.
Oh my God.
Ran our IDs, all is well. Cop starts grilling me about my out-of-state ID. Tell him I just moved back to the area. Starts asking me bullshit questions about the weather and where to eat in my previous city. I stonewall him. His partner gets up in my face for being disrespectful.
Are you fuck's
Wow. This is
Oh my God. Cop finds a gigantic spiked knuckled trench knife under her seat, reads us the riot act, but eventually tells us to get lost. She asks if I want to come back to her place. Ready to pull the ripcord, I say nope. Says she makes the best mac and cheese. Not homemade, but from a box. Knows how to make box mac and cheese just right.
Okay.
so good.
Gee, we just ate, so thanks anyways. keeps asking me
It's meow.
questions. It's meow. It's meow meow. He reminds me of the fucking, what is that, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood?
Oh,
Where he's
yes.
like, meow 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 meow. Yeah, whatever the character is. Anyways, God, I'm old. Keeps asking me questions. When I ask her things, I get, I don't know. Oh, that's not important. Or meow. Ask her to drop me at a bar just around the corner from my place, as I don't want her knowing where my building is.
Yeah.
We sit in the parking lot for a good 30 minutes with her firing questions at me. The whole time, she faces forward, doesn't look at me once. Seriously creepy. I finally escape, go in, order a beer, and try to decompress. She then comes flying in the door, lays a huge, awkward hug on me, and refuses to release it.
Oh no. Oh no.
I'm going, okay. Finally, she lets go, looks up, and says, meow.
Oh,
Then she split.
No.
you know, I would be very. What
No.
does she do when she comes? Do you think?
Oh.
Oh my God. I'm assuming it sounds similar to what Villain does around 5 o'clock in the morning.
Villain, your
now.
cat.
Yes.
Yeah.
When he's like, his water dish is empty or whatever, which is scream bloody murder.
Oh.
Like,
See, my cat scratches we have a picture in the bedroom, and he just. I'm like,
God,
really,
people
dude?
are fucking weird.
where do you think you picked that up? It's just like a cute thing that just like all of a sudden you keep doing it enough that it just
what
sticks.
it
It's your
reminds
thing
me
now.
of, what it reminds me of is like for millennials, that like Tumblr era random girl, you know, like when it was just like, oh my gosh, I'm so random. And it was just that like quirky, silly, I have a mustache tattooed on my finger, or am I so like random
yes.
kind of. And that
It totally is that.
It's that vibe where it's just like, this makes me quirky and funny and weird and like
You're not Zooey Deschanel now.
manic pixie dream girl.
Yeah.
You're
I'm not like the other girls. I meow.
I now. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Exactly. That's the vibe I get
Cool.
from that.
Yeah.
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 Wow. We all went through a pick meow face.
Yeah.
I know.
Of course.
I cannot pot call the kettle black because I definitely
Oh,
was.
I wanted to be manic pixie dream girl so fucking. I wanted to be 500 Days of Summer.
Listen.
We all did.
I wanted to be Natalie Portman from Garden,
Garden State. Yeah.
That was my manic pixie dream girl
course.
Yeah.
aspirations.
Of choice. Yeah.
Mine was more of the oh God, what's the movie? Shit. I'm the worst at this. My brain is totally gone.
You got to give me more than what's the movie.
You
Give
know
me
the movie with the guy and the girl and she's like, ooh, she's really random.
Drew Barrymore.
Oh, that is a very perfect example, but this is not. It's the other girl that I like a lot. And hold on, wait for it. Fight Club.
Oh, Helena Bonham Carter.
Yeah,
Thank
That's
you.
your-
I was like coming to me.
Yes.
It's coming to me.
Gosh, dude, that is a good FMK actually.
Oh,
our,
We could
our
do manic pixie dream girls next time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh. Well, you guys want to take 5 and then we'll come back with the Tainted Love?
Sounds good. And we're back. Keegan, tell us a story.
I would love to. So today I'm going to tell you the story of T. Cullen Davis. Now, I got all of my information from...
I'm sorry.
Yes?
I don't mean to stop you immediately, but
That's fine.
T colon like the
Punctuation?
No.
or like the name.
Name. Cullen.
Cullen.
So
Cullen.
Cullen. So Thomas Cullen Davis.
Great.
Yes.
Great.
So I got all of my information, or most of my information, from a couple of different Medium articles and a couple of different Texas Monthly articles.
Oh, here we go.
You know. So I'm going to try and get through this as quickly as I can. I wrote this whole thing sitting in the Denver airport during my layover. So I guess I can be grateful to them for that I didn't have to wake up this morning and
There you go.
and finish this. But right off the top, and I will, if it's something that I think is going to be particularly egregious, especially for the people in this room, I will go ahead and throw another trigger warning right before it happens. But at the top, I'm just going to give a general trigger warning for child abuse, domestic violence, animal abuse.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't love this already.
Right? I knew you wouldn't. So Thomas Cullen Davis, who went by Cullen, was born
or in my mind, colon, which might fit better. I don't know. Sounds it might be a real piece of ass or ass.
A real piece of ass implies that he's sexy. Yeah,
I meant real piece of work and an
asshole.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry.
Was I understood what you meant? He was born on September 22nd, 1933, and was the middle child of Texas oil tycoon Kenneth W. Stinky Davis.
Stinky Davis?
Well, I fucking love
colon and Stinky.
I love old school Texas oil tycoon names.
Stinky Davis.
Stinky Davis. So he grew up extremely privileged, as you would imagine the son of an oil tycoon would.
Yeah.
And eventually, upon his father's death, gained a sizable inheritance that he splits equally with his two brothers. So he grew up to be a wealthy oil man himself. And you know what? I didn't deep dive it because there's so much on this case, but I'm always like, what does that fucking even mean? I don't know. He's Christian Grey, businessman does business.
I kind of almost believe it has to be something similar to that Killers of the Flower Moon thing where they own the land that oil companies then pay you to be able to drill.
But then what do you do? I guess you're making deals.
Pioneer woman, Ray Drummond.
I heard.
No, wait, what?
She's got like all the Osage land.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's got hundreds and hundreds.
Yeah, because she made her whole career being this like, pioneer woman, just a down home simple girl or whatever, and she's got like oil money.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of it is from that particular story.
Wow.
Yeah.
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 Yoinks.
Yep.
Yoinks indeed. So yes, he grew up to be wealthy oil man, businessman does business. He married his first wife, Sandra Masters, in 1962, and the couple had two children, boys, Cullen Jr. and Brian. In May, you're going to have to get over it because I'm going to say Cullen a million times during the story.
I hear colon.
I know.
Sorry.
Especially after, I'm surprised he didn't do Stinky the Third.
Right?
Stinky colon the third. So sorry.
In May of 1967, he meets Priscilla Lee Childers at a country club, and the two immediately hit it off despite the fact that they are both married. So he's married to Sandra, and she's married to someone else. I honestly couldn't find very much about Priscilla's upbringing except for that she was not born into Texas high society. So he's blue blood all the way. And she kind of climbed that social ladder.
Got it.
So needless to say, the blue bloods did not like Priscilla because they thought that she was cheap. You know, she had this reputation as like this platinum blonde party girl. She wasn't afraid to flaunt her figure. She wore a lot of mini skirts and really low cut shirts. Scandalous, right? Mm-hmm. It is Texas. So the affair began immediately with Cullen traveling back and forth between Priscilla and his wife, and the two meeting often in hotels across Texas. And it wasn't long before Priscilla's, at this point, estranged husband, Jack, caught on to what she was up to, and he contacted Sandra, Cullen's wife. Yeah.
Messy.
So contacted Sandra, and together they formed a plan. They got a team of private investigators.
Oh, Jesus.
And then together with the private investigators, they went with them, which this is all so messy and wonderful. They went with them. They found out that they were at this Fort Worth hotel on New Year's Eve. They all went inside, kicked the fucking door down.
Damn.
And they found a nearly naked Priscilla and Cullen inside, pepper sprayed them, and took pictures to use in their divorce proceedings.
Wow.
They're like, we're going to get
That's like one of those
money.
old school episodes of that show. Do you remember Cheaters? And they had to cancel it because that host got stabbed.
It's not funny, but
fuck around and find out.
Yeah. I mean, I also don't know how legal it is for you to pepper spray people in their own hotel room, but whatever they did, they took pictures and they used those pictures in their divorce proceedings.
I'm sorry, you assaulted me.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. Is this the
Texas in the
same?
60s. I mean, so
one of them is illegal though.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Priscilla and Cullen married in August of 1968, much to the chagrin of high society, who again really disapproved of Priscilla. She was a really extravagant spender. She draped herself in couture clothing. She decorated their Texas Stadium skybox completely in pink. And
Okay.
and at Cullen's urging, so she already had big boobs, but he's like, why don't you knock those up a notch? So she got her breasts enhanced and was not afraid to show them off.
Oh, wow. Wait, they were doing that as early as the 70s?
Dolly
yeah.
Parton.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Not long after their marriage, the couple moved into a $6 million, which would be $42 million today.
Holy shit.
Mansion that Cullen named Stonegate. So the home had 11 bathrooms, an indoor
That's too
pool.
many.
It's too many. An indoor pool and a 12,000 square foot master bedroom. The bedroom is 12,000 square feet. It's bigger than, 2,000, not 12,000.
I was like,
that's like 10 houses.
No, but still,
I was
2,000
like, what?
2,000 square
But
feet
still.
is
Is a
bigger
house.
than
Is a house.
Yes, bigger than my apartment.
Yeah.
oh, hella
Yes.
bigger than my apartment.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this makes me think of that that wedding that just happened. Madeline Brockway's wedding. Did you hear about that?
I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, nobody knows who it was. She soft launched her social media with a $59 million wedding
What?
where
What?
she like rented this like fucking chateau. Like one of the nights was Versailles.
I almost threw up. I really did.
She's a car dealership heiress. And her husband is actually
What car dealership? I know. Jesus Christ.
50.
I mean, I dated a guy whose dad owned a car dealership.
Dollars. I'll show you guys
No.
pictures of
I
it for afterwards.
cannot.
It's
That's
the most
disgusting.
It's gross, right?
That's so gross.
It's a wedding of the century.
That's disgusting.
It's so gross.
I hate
no,
that.
it's unnecessary.
Yeah.
It's filthy.
I don't like that at all.
Eat the rich.
People are out here can't fucking afford groceries.
Jesus.
Like,
And the guy is brought up on gun charges. He shot at cops.
No way.
Cool.
And so
Great.
they offered him a plea deal of like 25 years.
he shot at cops and he's still alive.
Yeah.
So there are alternate ways to handle that. That's
Yep.
interesting.
Turns out.
Okay.
So wait a second. Who did? The dad?
The groom.
The groom.
So the groom is like in jail now.
The groom is going to go to jail.
You spent $50 million on a wedding, then you
I know. I know. It's
What?
so stupid.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to derail this. I thought this was common.
I really hate people who are this wealthy. I'm sorry. I'm willing to put it across the board. Anybody who has this kind of dumb money, I can't. I'm not
Honestly.
hating on you for having money,
I'm
right?
hating on
But
you if you keep all that money.
But $59 million wedding
You're
to
an
somebody that's
idiot.
going to be life in prison.
I really do.
Yeah.
I do hate on people who have and keep that much money.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's one thing to get that much money, whatever, you earned it and live a nice lifestyle, but you can do all of those things and still give back and help out your community.
Well, and
It
no
just
one
doesn't
needs a
make
$50
sense.
million
That's
wedding.
right.
That's so fucking gross and like unnecessarily
Well,
extravagant.
Keegan, but all those vendors make it. No, I'm just kidding.
All right.
How much of that was
So long
rinsing
story.
the
We have
Versailles?
to
'Cause I just want to.
I know, right?
All right, sorry.
Okay, 2,000 square foot master bedroom. So when they were at home, the two spent their time on lavish trips all over the world. However, despite outward appearances, Cullen was losing millions of dollars in bad business deals and investments. And, probably because he didn't know, he doesn't know what he's doing. He's a Nepo baby.
That's Stinky's job.
Right, exactly. Priscilla had 3 children, but only one, her oldest daughter, Dee, agreed to live with her mother and Cullen, who did later adopt her. The younger 2, Jack and Andrea, chose to stay with their father. They found Cullen to be creepy, a sentiment that was actually shared by women in his close circle. They were like, he gives weird vibes, weird attention. And eventually her younger 2 children refused to come to the mansion at all. Like, they're like, bad energy over there.
Yeah.
Cullen soon became physically abusive to both Priscilla and Dee, the oldest daughter.
No.
Though he would later deny it, both women claimed that he broke their noses.
Fuck.
And on one occasion, Priscilla's collarbone.
Ooh, ow, ow, ow.
Yes. And so here's trigger warning. You guys aren't going to like
It's better. Is this the
the
animal?
animal abuse. So if you don't like, not that any of us like it, but if you can't handle it, just skip forward. So the same night that he broke Priscilla's collarbone, she would allege that he killed a kitten that Dee had brought home by slamming it against the floor multiple times.
Disgusting.
And this, according to Priscilla, was the only incident that he would admit to regretting. So he regretted killing the kitten.
Oh, well,
so there
at
you
least
go.
he fucking regrets it.
Yeah. Once, when Dee was 14...
I'm going to go find my cat real quick.
I know. Give him a kiss.
Once, when Dee was 14, she came home with bad grades on her report card, and Cullen beat her so severely that she was left with noticeable marks and bruises. So she ran away to her boyfriend's house. His parents finally called CPS. Mm-hmm. In the end, the social worker determined that the family needed counseling, but admitted that they were unlikely to attend. That was the end of that. Wow. Yeah, they need to go to counseling. They probably won't go. Bye.
Bye. Hope things work out for you.
See you later.
Wow.
Dee would later go on to say that her mother was one of those people who lacked confidence to go without the attention of a man for very long. So she was the survivor of sexual abuse at a young age. And it was rumored that I think Dee's father, I think that's who she's talking about here, that whenever Priscilla was a teenager, she was raped. She got pregnant from that and married her rapist. So she has a lot of trauma. And according to Dee, that trauma manifested itself in her needing a lot of validation, a lot of attention. Cullen began taking more and more international business trips without Priscilla. And so while he was gone...
She's at the door waving.
Yes.
Bye.
But when he would leave town for these long periods of time, she began having a series of affairs in his absence before eventually filing for divorce in August of 1974.
I gotta be honest, don't blame her. Mm-hmm. Don't blame her.
He seems terrible.
He seems like the worst.
Yeah. In her filing, she pointed to Cullen's physical abuse, and he in turn alleged that she was a serial adulterer. In the end, though, the judge...
Again, only one of these things are actually illegal.
Right. Mm-hmm. In the end, the judge, Joe Eidson, or Eidson, I'm not sure how you pronounce his last name, Eidson, seemed to side with Priscilla, who he granted Priscilla a restraining order against Cullen and ordered that she be allowed to remain in Stonegate Mansion during the proceedings. Cullen would have to find other accommodations, eventually moving out into a nearby hotel. So he's like...
So he was cool with it, right? And he was
he was super chill.
Yeah, he was like, this is fine.
Didn't have any issue with her staying in his mansion while he lived in a motel. All good.
I bet.
Mm-hmm. So with Cullen out of the house, Priscilla continued her relationships, moving several people into the mansion.
And they got home. They got room.
They do have tons of room, 11 bathrooms.
Yeah.
And hosting drug-fueled parties where allegedly many orgies took place, though Priscilla would later deny taking part herself in the group sex activities. Dee and some of her teenage friends were also said to have been in attendance at some of these parties. So, Cullen's a fucking monster piece of shit, but Priscilla not Mother of the Year.
No.
Okay?
No, I think no one's nominating.
Agree.
Yeah.
After several short-lived relationships, one with a man named W.T. Ruffner, fucking the names,
It's like Dynasty.
It really is.
Who was also abusive towards Priscilla, she began dating Stan Farr, who is a former basketball star at nearby Texas Christian University.
TCU. Go Bullfrogs.
Yeah. Are they really?
Something like that.
Oh, really?
It's like
I thought you made that up.
No, it's like the something frogs.
Oh,
yeah.
There you go.
Oh, great.
Cullen seemed to have moved on as well, dating a woman named Karen Master, who seemed to be Priscilla's opposite in nearly every way, other than the fact that she too was platinum blonde. But she was definitely more, less flashy, more of a acceptable woman. Right. The divorce proceedings dragged on for years, and in August of 1976, Judge Eidson.
I was like, wait,
Jug.
we got
Jug.
got Jug and
Jug and Stinky.
and Cullen.
Judge Eidson granted Priscilla's request for an increase in monthly support payments by 50%.
Oof.
So the increase went up by 50% and an additional lump sum for expenses and legal fees of $52,000, which would be nearly $2,078,000 in 2023. It's a lot. He also granted her an additional $5,000 a month in living expenses until the divorce was resolved, as well as a continuance to Priscilla after her. So her doctor wrote a note to the judge stating that Priscilla was in no emotional condition to proceed with a divorce trial. So there was a delay, like a massive delay in the divorce proceedings.
As long as it's a delay, she getting paid.
Exactly.
It's true.
So she gets $5,000 a month in living expenses for as long as this thing drags out. And
a free house.
yeah. And so the judge agreed with the doctor and was like, okay, like we will delay.
We'll take a break.
We'll take a break. And Cullen's attorneys, of course, argued against the delay.
Obviously.
So that same night that the judge made that ruling, on August 2nd, 1976, Priscilla and Stan Farr returned home to Stonegate to find that the security system was not armed.
And so they kept driving the end.
At the end. And they were like, this isn't normal. Let's go talk to a police officer.
Well, here's the thing. Priscilla's 12-year-old daughter, Andrea, was staying with them, and sometimes she forgot to arm the security system. So they were like, okay, Andrea's here. She probably just forgot. So they go in to find Andrea. They didn't find her in her room, and so the couple was moving through the house, calling her name, looking for her. And when they made their way to the basement, they discovered her body, and she had a large gunshot wound in her chest.
Oh my
no.
God.
Yes. So as
This is his daughter, her daughter.
Her
with,
daughter.
With
she doesn't
No.
have any kids with Cullen.
okay.
It's from
That's
a
right.
previous
That's right.
relationship.
Yes.
Yeah.
Still a child.
Yeah, 12-year-old.
Still 12-year-old. Yeah.
So as Priscilla walked toward the stairs, a man dressed in black stepped out of the laundry room and said hi, and then shot her once in the chest. Stan tried to run away, but was shot 4 times.
Damn.
The man in black then dragged his body towards the basement where Andrea's body was, and Priscilla managed to make it out of the house and run to a neighbor's house. So she banged on the door, screaming that Cullen was inside, killing everyone.
Oh my
Ooh,
God.
terrifying.
As Priscilla was running from the house, 2 of her friends, Bubba Gavril and Bev Bass, were pulling up. Names.
Great
names.
Cool.
Bubba was shot in the chest, forever paralyzing him.
Oh no.
Oh my God.
And Bev managed to get away unscathed.
Oh, thank God.
Both would later claim that the man they saw that night was Cullen Davis. When authorities arrived at the scene, they found that both Stan and 12-year-old Andrea were dead.
Ugh.
Police arrived at Cullen's new home with Karen around 4:30 in the morning, and his alibi between 8 p.m. on August 2nd and midnight on August 3rd were wobbly at best. He claimed that he had gone to dinner and a movie alone. And police were able to figure out that he had left the parking garage of his office at 5:30 p.m. on the evening of the murders, but the car that he left in was not the car that he drove back to the house he shared with Karen that evening. So that car wasn't found until a week later in a garage across the street from his usual garage. It was and based on the parking ticket receipts, it had been there since August 4th, which meant that somebody, not him, had to have moved the car because he was in jail. They had arrested him that night. So somebody moved his car, and it also had been cleaned. So someone cleaned his car and left it in that parking garage.
That's weird.
Cullen was charged with 2 counts of murder and given $80,000 bond, which would be $429,000.
But for him,
Yeah, it
But
doesn't sound
nothing.
like much.
Easily paid it, walked right out. And people were pissed.
Yeah.
Because he got out that early. But the DA was like, well, it wouldn't have mattered what we set his bond at. He'd
true.
be able to get out no
Well,
matter
then-
what we set it at.
can you do a no bond?
Well, hold on.
Okay.
So after posting bail, he checked himself into a psych hospital for depression, but he walked out with Karen 4 days later without checking out or notifying the staff. He was just like, I'm done. Just left.
I just need a little break,
Yeah, I just need a little breaky
I
break.
think I did it, guys.
Now, Cassie, so the DA pushed hard for Cullen to be re-indicted on capital murder charges. So he hadn't been indicted on capital murder. He'd been indicted on like first degree or second degree or something, because bond could be denied in capital murder cases, but not in other murder cases. So they rearrested him and denied him bond. It being capital murder, he was also eligible for the death penalty.
What's the difference?
No idea.
Just
I actually
the
meant
big,
to look
big
that up,
M.
and I'm not sure.
Get it?
I'm not
Get
sure.
it? Capital murder. Capital.
Sorry.
I'll
So
be
during
all
the
night.
initial bond hearing, the prosecution was granted an order for a psychological evaluation on him, and the psychologist testified that he was likely to commit future acts of violence, especially during stressful family situations. This was
Clearly.
a person who beat his family, beat his wife, and then it escalated into
Murder.
Not surprisingly, the defense had their own psychologist who testified the exact opposite. He remained in jail for 6 months before his trial began. He hired infamous Texas criminal defense lawyer Racehorse Haynes.
I swear to God, you're making this up. This is fake. Please tell you're making these up.
Richard Racehorse Haynes.
Dick Haynes. Okay.
Who argued that Priscilla's account of the story was a lie and a blatant attempt to frame Cullen for murder. So she killed her own daughter and boyfriend.
And then shot herself in the chest.
And shot her friend Bubba. And she said that Bubba and Beverly Bass,
who, by the way, are still alive and could have said.
Right. But he said that they were complicit in the framing, that they were all in it together, even though Bubba is
fucking paralyzed.
Yes. So the first trial ended quickly in a mistrial before jury selection because they were like, well, we can't find anyone in this area who's impartial. So they moved it to Amarillo, Texas. And they were pursuing the death penalty for the deaths of Andrea and Stan and the attempted murders of Priscilla, Bubba, and Beverly. The trial was called like the biggest thing to ever happen in Amarillo. It was this massive spectacle. The defense, of course, painted Priscilla as a promiscuous junkie who abused prescription drugs and said that therefore her testimony was unreliable. We can't trust anything this floozy says.
And she deserved to die.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it was made, quote unquote, worse because she would show up to court the way that she always was, the way that she always dressed. She wore flashy outfits. And then the newspapers would report on the people that she would show up with. So she had like physical and psychological issues, of course, following this incident. And so the newspaper would refer to her nurse as her hairdresser and her bodyguard that she needed to keep herself safe from Cullen and everyone else as her hitman.
What?
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Talk about slanted.
Language matters.
Yes.
In reporting, as I think we all know.
Yes.
Wow.
Cullen, meanwhile, had a private cell, catered food, clean clothes, and was still able to see his chiropractor daily, as well as continue to conduct business meetings and transactions. He was a fairly good-looking man, or people thought so, and so he had a lot of fans who brought him food, cookies, pies, brought their children and grandchildren to meet him. They would let him sign autographs.
It's something so terribly wrong with our country that we equate wealth with goodness.
Wealth with goodness, attractiveness with goodness. Unless you're making me feel too many weird feelings, Priscilla. You're too attractive. You're too. But not surprisingly, I mean, people hated Priscilla because they loved him. They thought that, this is a celebrity, and they don't like Priscilla because she's not fitting their narrative of what a perfect victim should be like. During recesses, he shook hands and posed for photos with his fans. He was also frequently left unsupervised in jail and allowed to roam freely about the jail, unrestricted.
So, no, that's cool.
According to the prosecution, Cullen's motive was obviously his recent divorce ruling that increased the payments to Priscilla. And the state's first witness was Judge Joe Eidson. Priscilla was also called and was on the stand for 11 days.
What?
Where Racehorse Haynes questioned her relentlessly about the sex, drugs, and violence that occurred at the mansion. And
also, okay, great, whatever. Even if she did all these things,
what does it have to do with fucking?
Well, I mean, and the thing is, he was just doing it to wear her down because the judge had already made a ruling that they couldn't, unless it happened the night of the murder, they weren't allowed to bring up like the parties and the things that were happening at the mansion. So he did all of this, most of it outside of earshot of the jury because it had to be brought up in front of the judge first, and then he would get to decide what the jury heard, if it was relevant or not. So he was doing it just to be a fucking asshole. Like, just
what
to,
the fuck, dude?
Wow.
Yeah. Or that's my take on that.
No,
anyway.
That seems right.
Right. The defense also did their best to attack and discredit the other witnesses, attempting to call their identification of Cullen as the shooter into question. Beverly Bass was berated on the stands, with Racehorse Haynes implying there was more to her and Priscilla's friendship. We all know what that means.
Oh, God.
And that Bev
Jesus.
was lying and fabricating stories to protect Priscilla because she asked her to. Right. So the defense also tried to pull attention away from Cullen, claiming that Stan Farr had enemies and people were out to kill him. He was afraid of people. So he was really the target here. And Cullen wouldn't have any reason to go after Stan.
Okay.
When jury deliberations finally began on November 17th, they had been sequestered. The jury had been sequestered for over 100 days.
Wow.
Jesus.
Just 5 hours later, they returned with their verdict: not guilty. When asked later, jurors expressed that they did not find Priscilla credible. Like, who cares that there were other witnesses? Cullen had a motive. He had no alibi.
There's people dead.
A child.
Yes. And this was the most expensive trial in Texas history up until this point, costing more than $300,000, which is $1.6 million in 2023. After the verdict, this is going to piss you off. After the verdict,
Already pissed.
there was
Too
a
late.
victory party at a local bar in which reporters, bailiffs, jurors, and even the judge were in attendance. The next day, Cullen and Karen hosted a luncheon for the jurors and reporters.
Wow.
Wow.
That doesn't seem legal.
Priscilla's family rightfully felt the prosecution did not do enough to humanize 12-year-old Andrea
Right?
to the jury, barely mentioning her during the trial.
Shit.
Due to her
This
injuries,
is a divorce hearing. This is a fucking murder
right?
trial.
It doesn't matter how you feel about Priscilla. A 12-year-old died. Stan Farr died too. You know, like, he's not a 12-year-old, but he didn't deserve to lose his life in this situation.
This
Yeah.
is absolutely bonkers.
Due to her injuries, Priscilla would develop an addiction to pain medication that would follow her for the rest of her life. After the trial, Karen's ex-husband filed for custody of their children to keep them away from Cullen Davis because he has a history of abuse. Judge Joe Eidson, the same judge that had ruled on Cullen and Priscilla's divorce proceedings, signed the order granting the restraining order, but it would later be overturned. Okay. Now, on August 1978, Cullen hired his friend, David McRory, to murder Judge Eidson.
What the fuck?
So when David was solicited for murder, he contacted the FBI.
Yeah.
Good. He's like, hey,
Boop, 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 boop,
yes,
boop,
Hi.
yes.
This may sound weird.
So they faked Eidson's death in order to get, and then David met up with Cullen for payment. He was wearing a wire. They managed to get all of this shit on tape that there was solicitation for murder. Cullen had a hit list with 15 names, which included Priscilla, Bubba, Bev Bass, Dee, his daughter Dee, and his own brother Bill. However, Karen, her family, and other supporters of Cullen insisted that Priscilla was framing him. It was another frame job.
Fucking
Dude, people will convince themselves of anything.
Yes.
Honestly, the cognitive dissonance in people sometimes is shocking to me.
Yep. So
it's on tape.
Well, Racehorse Haynes was hired once again. This time, he charged $2 million up front.
Yeah.
He's like, listen, you got to stop being so fucking stupid. If you want me to defend you, you got to give $2 million up front. When asked to explain the tapes, Cullen explained this. They had come up with this elaborate defense, this elaborate scenario in which an FBI agent called him and told him to play along with wanting to have Priscilla and the judge murdered, and that it was David that was trying to set him up.
Why would the FBI? That doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make
still
any
got
sense.
off because money. No.
On January 22nd, 1979, the jury came back deadlocked, 8-4 in favor of conviction. It wasn't enough for the judge, and he granted the defense's motion for a mistrial, and Cullen was released. Okay, so that was a lot. But keep in mind that throughout all of this, Cullen and Priscilla had still not finalized their divorce.
Oh, man.
They're still fucking married.
Holy shit.
Yes. So the divorce was finally complete in the spring of 1979. Priscilla got nearly $3.5 million, which is almost $15 million today, her car and her horse. But the judge did order her to vacate the mansion within 30 days. Cullen and Karen were married about a month after the divorce was finalized, and the couple moved into Stonegate Mansion.
That's so gross.
I don't even.
So you married a man that you gotta know deep down inside,
Yes.
murdered a child, and then now you're moving into the murder scene
and with your children. And also, like, was a lot of speculation for a long time, and I'm sure it is true that he was abusive to Karen, physically abusive to her as well. She always denied it, but that doesn't mean anything. He was retried for the murder for hire plot and was acquitted. There's more, because he went to, like, there was also like a civil case that Andrea's family did with him. Like, he'd been in and out for forever. And at this point, like, basically everyone in this case, Bubba and Bev, ended up getting married and having children, but he was paralyzed for the rest of his life. Most of the players in this case, including Priscilla and Karen, have since passed away. I think even Dee has passed away. Cullen Davis is still living in Texas and is 90 years old.
Oh, he's going to Kissinger it.
There you go. Yeah. Yes.
The Kissinger of Texas.
So he got off over and over. Murder for hire on tape. I can't eyewitnesses
fucking believe
of
on
the
a
murder.
judge, on a judge,
a federal judge, and you have eyewitnesses who saw you
kill people.
Yeah,
and then this guy shot me. Doesn't matter.
Right? No, and he,
innocent.
He did not.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, I think something that's been interesting for me and something that I kept thinking about when you're telling this story is the small town mentality too. Moving to a small town this past year, and it's very different.
Yeah,
it's very different. I've never really had that experience. I've always been raised in and lived in a city, so it's always kind of surprised me, kind of this group think of this person good, this person not good,
right? And
and it's like based on like these weird ideals or whatever. This person goes to church. This person's a Christian.
Yes. Oh my God, my parents think that way. Well, my mom specifically.
So it couldn't possibly. This can't be this person.
Yes.
But this person, they never go to church. They're like
God.
They wear T-shirts that say "read banned books" or whatever. So they must be bad.
Right.
And it's like, what?
Yeah. I mean,
it's very weird.
And even if it's not a small town, if it's small kind of closed communities or communities that have like lots of influence, like in this case, it's, Cullen, you mean Stinky's boy? No, he couldn't have fucking done anything. You're like, we know him. He comes from such a good family, stuff like that. Whereas they don't fucking know Priscilla.
Yeah.
They don't like how she moved up, how she managed to infiltrate their circle.
Weasel her way in.
Right. and because of that, she's not offered the same amount of sympathy. And because she's not offered that sympathy, it doesn't extend to her 12-year-old daughter who didn't do anything.
Wow.
In this situation.
Yeah, and it's infuriating.
This is awful.
Really good story. It's gonna make me think about a lot of things, because that's something that I'm like, I don't know how to challenge that, but that specific type of thinking, I feel like, is the root of a lot of things today in America.
Agree.
And I don't know how to combat that.
Yeah. And I'm sure there are other podcasts who have done this in more depth. I'm sure there's lots of things that you can watch.
There's a lot to talk about
here.
There's
a lot, and I tried to do it really quickly because there's so much, and I didn't even go into a lot of the details of a lot of the other things. So if you're interested in this story, make sure you check out, again, the links to our sources will be on the website. So if you want to read those Texas Monthly articles or those Medium articles, you can go check that out. But yeah, it's I couldn't believe it. I just kept reading, and I was like, surely this time, something's going to get him at some fucking point.
No, nothing.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, I'll definitely be looking into more of that. So,
Yeah.
Well, what are you guys watching this week? I've got a book I can tell you guys about.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I am actually reading The Lady in Red by Hallie Rubenhold. She is the one that did the book about the Ripper victims. The Five.
Yes, The Five. The Five's a great book.
Yeah.
I thought that sounded familiar.
Yeah. So I just started it. I'm really into it so far. It's about this family. It's a sex scandal that happened in 1760s.
Lady in Red.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in.
It's like historical fiction. But it's the Worsley family. Basically the Lady in Red is a very famous painting. It's like a woman in riding gear. It's just very which was very shocking. It's a very big thing. So it's displayed everywhere. Its match, the gentleman in red gear, is owned privately, so is not displayed, but they were never paired together because there was this huge divorce scandal thing. So
I sense a Tainted Love coming our way.
Yeah,
at some point. Yeah, that sounds great.
So I just started reading that, and I'm really enjoying it so far. So
awesome. I haven't really been watching anything new lately. I am listening to a book called The September House, which is a horror novel.
okay.
Oh yeah,
It's interesting.
Didn't it win one of the Goodreads?
It
the
was.
horror?
Did it
Oh,
win?
no, it
I
didn't
know
win, but
it was
up-
nominated.
yeah.
It was definitely nominated. I saw it.
Holly
as
won.
one
I
of the-
noticed.
Categories, but I'm enjoying it. I'm listening to it. I'm enjoying it. Jury's out on like how I feel. You have to get to the end to really know.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. I did a little bit of reading about the author, and she is. I think she's got like degrees in family psychology.
Ooh,
and I'm like, well, that is good to know when listening to the book. I'm like, oh, that makes sense to me. And so it's an interesting perspective. I like it.
Interesting. I am also reading. I just picked up A Tale of Two Cities. I was like kind of torn on what I wanted to read.
Winter
and I was,
feels like Dickens.
yeah,
doesn't it?
Winter is very Dickens, right? But I did watch Mission Impossible, the new Mission Impossible movie.
I did too.
It's fucking good. I loved it, but I love Mission Impossible.
I think they're it's American James Bond,
It
right?
absolutely is. That's exactly.
Yeah.
It's exactly what it is. It's mindless. It's fun. It doesn't take a lot of. It's just action.
Yeah.
And you know what? Mission Impossible, like you said, 007.
Hell yeah.
Perfect for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I liked it.
Well, if you guys have something that we should watch, if you have a terrible date story, if you just want to reach out and say, you know what? What's up? How's it going?
So,
Go to our one-stop shop of a website. It is myworstdatepodcast.com, and we love you so much.
Cheers.